I'm a person who doesn't like what my country represents. I'm often frustrated by the decisions that are made at the federal, state, and local levels. I also disagree with many people in my country on cultural and economic issues. Some people, upon hearing that, will say, well, then, why don't you leave the country? I think this is a fair question, and it has made me think about what it means to live in a country and why it makes sense to stay even if you don't like it. So here are my reasons for staying in the United States despite disliking it. I think it's perfectly acceptable to stay in a society that you dislike and to critique that society from within. All of the social benefits and freedoms we receive as Americans have been fought for by Americans, and if all of the people who are critical of American society left, the country itself would be in a much worse situation. I recognize that my country is flawed and that every country on earth is flawed. I do think there's a spectrum of morality when it comes to governments and their policies, and it would be interesting to lay out all the data and to see which country aligns best with my morals, but even if I figure that out, I think I might stay due to my next point. My primary reason for not leaving is that I've built up a social network of friends and family throughout my life, and that is something that is extremely valuable to me, and which would need to be reconstructed from scratch if I were to move elsewhere. That, and I don't think I'd be able to convince my parents to live abroad, so I'd need to frequently return to the US to visit and take care of them. I recognize that living in the United States puts me in a very lucky position to be one of the 300 million people that gets to live in the richest country in the world, going by GDP. I try my best not to take for granted the security that this grants me. I also recognize that this wealth is derived from the hard work of Americans, but also slavery, colonialism, and imperialism, which is an extremely violent and unjust system, in my opinion. I currently have a relatively stable career as a programmer and feel that if I put in more work, I'm able to make more money. From my experiences in developing countries, this is 100% not a given. In many countries, survival is not even a given. I've met people from other countries who got engineering degrees only to be offered minimum wage jobs in their countries, thus leading them to seek employment either with foreign companies that are active in their country or to leave the country outright. I do think that if I wasn't able to make a stable living despite putting in the effort via training, that would be a very strong signal for me to leave the country. Also, I think it's important to clarify when I say that I dislike my country, I personally mean the government and especially my government's foreign policy, as we have supported so many harmful military and political initiatives abroad just to keep our country in power. So if you too dislike your country, government, or economic system, don't feel like you're giving up by remaining in that system. It's important to express yourself and to organize with like-minded people to bring about the changes in your society that you want to see.